I come from a mixed race family. My mother is white and my father is dark white, so I have got some terrible old people coming, man. 50 years from now? Old people now still have stories. You ever sit with an old person and look at their photos? Every photo's got a story. What's this, Grandma? Here is a picture of your great-grandfather standing beside Charles Lindbergh before he flew across the Atlantic. The first ever transatlantic flight in history. That's an amazing story. Can you imagine listening to the stories of old people's photos 50 years from now? How terrible that experience is going to be? What's this, Grandma? Here is a picture of my breakfast. What? What a breakfast. And here are some shoes I once thought about buying. And here is the wing of a plane. And here is the weather forecast. Here is a picture of your great-grandmother staring at herself in the bathroom mirror.
Good morning. It's Friday, Parenting Friday, December the 12th, and this is The True Conservative. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. So today, after the Serenity Prayer and the patriotic song of the day, we will have Varney and Company, motivation, meditation, and the collapse of parenting. All that and more when I get back. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I should not change, the courage to change the things I should, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Thank you, Maria, then Stu.
It's been a great show. We so appreciate it. Todd, Pyro, and Cheryl Castoni, thank you so much for being with us. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you on Monday. Varney and Company begins right now. Stu, take it away.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning, everyone. More escalation in the Venezuela standoff. Our military may seize more oil tankers. President Trump's zeroing in on Venezuela's finances. Oil is dictator Maduro's revenue. Without it, he may lose his ability to stay in power. You might think that would raise the price of oil. Not so. Trump says we might keep the oil, so the supply is still there. We have oil at $57 a barrel as of right now. And gas, well, that's come down some more. $2.93 is the average now for regular. Elsewhere on the market, first take a look at Costco's stock. A slight decline, despite reporting very strong profits. Costco down $3. Look at pot stocks, as in marijuana stocks, all up sharply after President Trump hinted at relaxing the federal restrictions on marijuana. As for the Dow Industrials, pre-market trading puts them in the green to the tune of 100 points. S&P is virtually unchanged. The Nasdaq, though, that's down 90 points. Rates firm as in interest rates. The 10-year Treasury yield is 4.20. The 2-year coming in at 3.57 this morning. Sorry, down a bit, 3.55. Bitcoin, where we have there, put it on the screen, it's at 92,000 right now. Gold, well above $4,300 an ounce. 43.75 actually, up $60 today. On the show, Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been released from custody. He's the illegal known as the Maryland Dad. A judge released him because there was no final deportation order of deportation. The administration will appeal. We'll show you how DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was treated at a congressional hearing on ICE and deportations. Hostile Democrats called her a liar, demanded she be fired or resign, and Congressman Betty Thompson said the terrorist killing of a National Guardsman was, quote, an unfortunate accident. Leaving the hearing, Secretary Noem was called the Gestapo. We will show you the details of the Somali-led billion-dollar fraud in Minnesota. One man of Somali descent owned a restaurant that billed the city $47 million for delivering 18 million meals. Not a single meal was actually delivered. The man had wired over $1 million to banks and companies in China. That report comes from CBS News. The new editor-in-chief, Barry Weiss, is making a lot of changes to CBS editorial policy. Look at this, closely. A house explosion in Hayward, California, 6 injured. The explosion occurred just hours, after a construction crew damaged a gas line. The whole house gone. Friday, December 12th, 2025.
So that's good old Varney. A couple of things. First is the marijuana thing. It surprised me with Donald Trump. I wouldn't think that he's, pro-drug. But anyhow, his backing of marijuana, the question you've got to ask with marijuana or any drug is, how does this benefit society? We know how it benefits drug users and would-be drug users, but how does it benefit the rest of us? We got to look at the big picture here. And that's Stuart Varney and Company and Nonprofit News Now. Back in a minute. And I wanted to interject here that about the house explosion, and this happened because PG&E was digging and they hit a gas line, past this Pacific Gas and Electric. All over Southern California, you have signs that say call 811 before you dig, so they can tell you where the gas and electrical lines are. You figure that PG&E would know where the gas lines are and would avoid them. Most of the time when something goes wrong with electricity or gas, the first people I want to blame is the California Public Utilities Commission. But in this particular case, PG&E stepped in it all the way up to their knee. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, motivation.
Everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no, wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster. And then you should learn how to control it.
It's impossible to respect yourself until you grow those mental teeth. And when you grow those teeth, you realize that you're dangerous.
You begin to demand success for yourself. You're no longer wishing or hoping things work out. You're going to make it happen no matter what. So you start carrying yourself with a different level of confidence and conviction that says to the world, I will not stop.
I am going to assess the situation. I am going to come up with a plan, and I am going to execute.
I'm going to go get it because I'm built for it. If you set out and you say you're going to do something, do yourself a favor and don't lie to yourself. That is the worst thing that an individual can ever do.
The people in life that win play offense, not defense. Stop backing into everything. Stand up. Bow your back a little bit. Start to walk a little different. Start to be that best version of you. You can do it in your quiet way. You can do it the way you do it. But somehow they got to look at you and go, okay, I won't monkey with that one.
I need you to put the type of effort forward that the world knows don't come from you.
You have to develop a doggedness. You got to have some toughness in you. And the only way to develop toughness is you got to practice being tough. And you cannot practice being tough by quitting every time you get tired, by stopping every time you don't feel like it, by giving up every time it gets challenged. That's what's wrong with people now. People don't make it because they always give up when it get hard. You know, it's so challenging now. You know, they was talking about me. I feel weak. I'm tired. Life don't give a damn about you being tired. You got to get about the business now. You want to be successful, you got to get at it. You stop all this soft shit and all that mess, man. You got to get at it. You got to tear their mouth out.
When you go out there, I need you to have that dog. When you get out there, I need you kill or be killed when you get out there. When you get out there, whatever you can get, go get it. Because they gonna get it before you get it. And they ain't gonna give it to you. So you go out there and get what's yours.
A true monster's mentality is when you're willing to forgo rest, forgo comfort, forgo personal desires, forgo whatever it takes to be better than you were yesterday. And every single time you feel like quitting, remember all those hours and days you sacrificed to get to where you are.
It's gonna take you getting a hold of this thing and not letting go. You're gonna have to fight and fight and fight till you can't fight anymore. Whatever it takes, I will do whatever I have to do to get to the other side, to make it over, to press through this. Nothing will hold me back. Nothing will stop me.
If there's something that you want and you're hungry for it, you got to do whatever is necessary until. And when you give the best you can and that's not enough, you must do what is required. And don't give up on yourself. Don't throw the towel in so quickly. Many people give up on the 1-yard line. There will be things that will happen to you in life that will get you down. But you must always stand up inside yourself and know that you can handle this. You've got to stand up to it and say, I'm going to do this anyhow, and I'm not going to let you stop. And you've got to be so relentless that you're always looking for a way to get over, always looking for a way that you can break through, always looking for a way that you can win, always looking for a way that you can strike a telling blow.
If you tell that thing, I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this university. I will not leave this job. I will not leave this client. I will not leave this opportunity until I'm successful.
And you can't go back to that same old mindset. You gotta focus on this new day, this new mindset, these new goals. You can do it because that monster inside of you won't give up. That monster inside of you won't give in. That monster inside of you won't throw in the towel.
Failing doesn't mean you quit. It means you failed, but get back up and continue to push that bar higher and higher and higher. When you're constantly pushing and getting up earlier and getting up earlier and getting up earlier and fighting through pains and discomforts, you don't care about failure. You actually welcome it. That means you set the bar so high that it's like, oh, I failed. That's where I need to be. Now I got to figure it out. You have to be uncommon amongst uncommon in your world. It takes everything. And then when you think you've given everything, you've just begun.
Hello.
And that was Motivation. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now a little meditation.
In a world chasing flawless, here's your reminder. The imperfections, the scars, the stories you carry, that's where your beauty lives. Take a deep, slow breath in. And exhale softly. Let your whole being begin to settle. Allow your body to find a comfortable position, seated or lying down. Feel the gentle weight of your body sinking into support. Let the muscles in your face soften. Your shoulders loosen. Your breath fall into a natural rhythm. With every inhale, feel yourself arriving. With every exhale, feel yourself releasing. There is nothing to prove here, nothing to strive for, just your presence, just your breath, just this moment. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Imagine a warm, golden light glowing there. Soft, steady, kind. This light does not demand perfection. It welcomes every part of you, even the parts you hide, even the pieces you think are unfinished or not enough. Let this light expand slowly, outward through your chest, across your ribs, down your arms, up into your throat and face. A light that whispers, you are allowed to be exactly as you are. As the light continues to spread, let it touch the places within you that carry old stories, places marked by ache, softened by time, shaped by life. Your imperfections are not flaws. They are inscriptions, evidence of where you've grown, where you've been softened, where your heart has learned to bend without breaking. Your scars, seen or unseen, are quiet proof of your courage. Proof that you have lived, felt deeply, and chosen to rise again. Let this truth settle into you like warm rain. is beauty in your becoming. Picture in your mind's eye the simplicity of nature. Weathered wood shaped by years of sun and wind. Not perfect, yet deeply beautiful.
And that was a little bit of meditation. Back in a minute.
This is one of Reagan's funniest jokes because it's so true.
I recently asked my friend's little girl what she wanted to be when she grows up. She said she wanted to be the President of the United States. Both of her parents, liberal Democrats, were standing there. So I asked her, if you were president, what would be the first thing you would do? Well, she replied, I'd give food and houses to all the homeless people. Her parents beamed. Wow, what a worthy goal, I told her. But you don't have to wait until you're president to do that. You see, you can come over to my house right now, and you can mow the lawn, pull weeds, and sweep my driveway, and I'll pay you $50. Then, I'll take you over to the grocery store where that homeless guy hangs out, and you can give him the $50 to use toward food and a new house. She thought that over for a few seconds, then she looked me straight in the eye and asked, why doesn't the homeless guy come over and do the work, and you can just pay him the $50? I said, welcome to the Republican Party. Her parents are still not speaking to me.
This is...
Thank you. And now from the Ayn Rand lexicon. It's like an Ayn Rand dictionary. It's done by letter, so it's alphabetically. So we're in, right now I'm in the letter H, and this is her thoughts under the entry of happiness. Happiness is the successful state of life. Pain is an agent of death. Happiness is that state of consciousness which proceeds from the achievement of one's values. A morality that dares to tell you to find happiness in the renunciation of your happiness, to value the failure of your values, is an insolent negation of morality. A doctrine that gives you, as an ideal, the role of a sacrificial animal seeking slaughter on the altars of others is giving you death as your standard. By the grace of reality and the nature of life, man, every man, is an end in himself. He exists for his own sake, and the achievement of his own happiness is his highest moral purpose. But neither life nor happiness can be achieved by the pursuit of irrational whims. Just as man is free to attempt to survive in any random manner, but will perish unless he lives as his nature requires, so he is free to seek his happiness in any mindless fraud. But the torture of frustration is all he will find, unless he seeks the happiness proper to man. The purpose of morality is to teach you not to suffer and die, but to enjoy yourself and live. And that was an entry under happiness from the Ayn Rand lexicon. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, the collapse of parenting.
Chapter 12, The Meaning of Life. When I visit schools, I often meet with students in groups both large and small. When I meet with middle or high school students, I engage them in back and forth questioning. I pose questions, and I call on students who raise their hands. What's the point of school? I sometimes ask. Why bother? To get into a good college. That's the answer I hear most often. So, why do you have to go to college? I ask. To get a good job, the students answer. So, why do you need a good job? I ask. To earn lots of money, they answer. So, why do you need lots of money? I ask. To have fun, they answer. Obviously. Duh. At this point, I often hear some disgruntled muttering from the students. Geez, who hired this guy? This dialogue is the basis for what I have come to call the middle class script. The script, as I have heard it preached at many schools, reads as follows. 1. Work hard in school so you can get into a good college. 2. Get into a good college so you can get a good job. 3. Get a good job and you will make a good living and have a good life. There are several problems with this script. The first problem is that every line in it is false. 1. Working hard in school is no guarantee of admission to a top college. We all know stories of kids who worked hard, earned good grades, and didn't get into any of their top choices. 2. Getting into a good college is no guarantee of a good job. The media and the blogosphere are full of stories of young people who have earned bachelor's degrees from Princeton and Harvard and Stanford who are now pouring lattes at Starbucks or simply unemployed. 3. Getting a good job is no guarantee of having a good life. The implicit assumption of the middle-class script is that getting a good job, which at these schools always means a job that pays well, is the key to happiness. But the evidence doesn't provide strong support for that hypothesis. In a much-cited study, Nobel laureates Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton found that beyond a threshold income of about $75,000, more money doesn't buy more happiness. That finding has been confirmed and replicated in a more recent study of more than 1.7 million individuals worldwide. If money doesn't guarantee happiness, what does? The answer is the quality of your personal relationships, beginning with your family. A good marriage and a loving relationship with your children is the best predictor of your long-term health and happiness, far better than your income. Apparently, most American parents don't know that. In 2023, The Pew Research Center surveyed 3,757 parents nationwide. A large majority, 88%, said that it was very or extremely important for their kids to be financially independent, which is a polite way of saying financially well off. But only 21% of parents thought it was important for their kid to get married, and only 20% thought it was important for their kid to have a child of their own. Fully 46% of survey respondents said it was not too important or not at all important for their kid to get married or to have children of their own. This is weird. This was a survey not of the general population, but of parents with children under 18 at home. Don't the majority of parents want to have grandchildren someday? Apparently not. The middle-class script leads to a rise in the proportion of young people who are living alone. Young people who prioritize their work over marriage, family, and friendships. The proportion of young Americans living alone is higher than it has ever been. In 1960, single-person households represented only 13% of American households. By 2021, that percentage had more than doubled to 28%. And many young adults are simply failing to launch. In one recent survey, fully half of young adults ages 18 to 29 were still living in their parents' home. A 29-year-old man living in his parents' home doesn't count as a single-person household, but he is often a failure to launch, a failure to fulfill his potential to become independent and to start his own family. In another recent survey from the Pew Center, nearly 6 in 10 single adults said that they were not even looking for a relationship or even casual dates. For a deep dive into the factors driving the failure to launch phenomenon, please see the chapter titled Failure to Launch in the second edition of my book, Boys Adrift. Some of these adults are thoroughly immersed in what podcaster and journalist Derek Thompson has christened workism, in which one's job has morphed into a kind of religion, promising identity, transcendence, and community. The belief that work is, and should be, the centerpiece of one's identity and life's purpose. These people are so submerged in workism that they aren't even interested in having a relationship. My job is my life is a phrase I often hear from such people. But here's the twist. I would estimate that more than 80% of the adults I see in the office don't like their jobs. In a culture that preaches, get a good job, have a good life, they are restless and unhappy. They don't like their job, so they believe they don't have a good life. Your job is not your life, I tell these people. You are more than your job. Sometimes they hear what I'm saying. More often, they don't. A 10-minute pep talk from a family doctor, me, can't undo the years of brainwashing from a culture which holds up achievement at work as the best guarantee of personal happiness and fulfillment. There is nothing new about people not enjoying their work. More than 150 years ago, Henry David Thoreau wrote that most men lead lives of quiet desperation. What's different today is that young people are immersed in stories of billionaire entrepreneurs and YouTube influencers and TikTok celebrities who endlessly promote themselves and their brand. Your newsfeed now offers you a continual spew of amazing people bombarding you with their awesome amazingness. The rest of us feel inadequate, less than, a failure. So I ask, how does it happen that so many young people succumb to the toxic culture of workism. Which brings us back to the question, more seriously, what is school for? I find that parents in the United States, more than in any other country where I have spoken to parents, have bought into the middle-class script. In Germany and in German-speaking Switzerland, for example, I have found that there is no shame if a 15-year-old chooses to train to become an auto mechanic rather than choosing the university track. And that's true even if both parents are professors at the university. Mechanics in Germany earn good money, just as they do in the United States. But I have found that mechanics in Germany are truly respected by their university-educated peers, which is less likely to be true in the USA. But those mechanics usually don't find their meaning of life in rebuilding engines. They find their meaning of life in their connections with other human beings. Mechanics can earn good money in the United States as well, but there is a stigma, a lack of respect attached to being blue-collar in the United States today, which I have found to be utterly lacking in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. In the United States, it is hard to imagine the child of two professors choosing to go straight into vocational training to be a mechanic, unless that child has been diagnosed with some sort of learning disability. Many Americans today regard vocational training as a low-prestige option for kids with below-average IQ or kids with learning disabilities. At some level, sometimes subconsciously, many Americans, not only parents and students, but in many cases also teachers and school leaders, have accepted the idea that a primary purpose of K through 12 schooling, maybe even the primary purpose, is to get accepted into a good college and to prepare for college. That's a mistake. The primary purpose of education should be to prepare for life, not for more school. And many of the skills needed to be successful in life are different from the skills needed to be admitted to a good college. In order to be admitted to a selective university, it is usually necessary to have a good grade point average as well as good test scores. Although test scores are becoming less important, in 2023, a majority of students applying to four-year colleges did not submit test scores. The student will also need to have extracurricular activities, which will impress the admissions staff. So, a rational student will avoid classes that might interest her, but in which she may be less certain of getting an A. Instead, she enrolls in familiar classes, which she knows she can ace. She may sign up for an after-school activity, not primarily because it interests her, but because she thinks it will look good on her college application. In short, she is not living so much as she is performing, putting on a show to impress the college admissions office. And what breaks my heart is that I see so many parents who are aiding and abetting this puppet show, parents who believe they are acting in their kids' best interest. There are a few life trajectories, but only a few, in which this approach might almost make sense. If you are absolutely certain that you want to be a doctor, and you are sure that nothing else will bring you fulfillment and satisfaction, then the middle-class script might be a good fit for you. Work hard in school, get into a selective college.
Okay, so that's the end of the first part of Chapter 12, The Meaning of Life. What he kind of missing here is that he is with going to school is we can't have it both ways. We can't complain that kids that go out and do drugs and get involved in crime and whatnot are bad. But then again, if the kids turn around and become ambitious, that's bad too. Got to make up your mind. What do you want? Do you want the kids to be ambitious? The idea is Again, do you want them to live a better life? Do you want them to be productive members of society? And this is the best way they know how. And I'd much rather have a child that's going to do as he was describing, where they're taking courses that they think are going to look good on their college admissions, rather than going out and basically dropping out and becoming a troublemaker and a burden on society. So next week, the second part of Chapter 12, The Meaning of Life from the Collapse of Parenting by Leonard Sachs, how we hurt our kids when we treat them like grown-ups, or how it should read is how liberal parents hurt their kids when they treat them like grown-ups. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and reminding you that you're not neutral and that the government has no rights.